Do you know what really happened to Jean and Barbara's parents? Why did their family split apart, even though both of their parents are still alive? With strong hints that a new Mondstadt update is coming, possibly expanding the map to Dornman Port, this might finally be the moment we return home. So before we do, let's go over everything you need to know about Mondstadt's past and the characters who may shape its future. But to understand the present, we need to start with something far older: Arcadia. Arcadia was an ancient kingdom that existed as part of the unified civilization in what is now modern Mondstadt. They worshipped the moons, and more importantly, it's believed they were planning to rebel against the heavenly principles themselves. We know very little about Arcadia or how it was destroyed, but some fascinating connections exist. For example, Amos, the legendary huntress who rebelled against Khaenri'ah, may have been from Arcadia. Her story appears to be inspired by Atalanta from Greek mythology, a huntress who was also born in Arcadia. But Amos may not have been the only survivor. Gunnhildr, the founder of the Gunnhildr clan, is a confirmed survivor of that ancient civilization. When Barbatos rose up to challenge Khaenri'ah, Gunnhildr and her clan stood beside him and fought for Mondstadt's freedom. After Barbatos ascended as the Animo Archon, Gunnhildr made a vow: her clan would forever protect Mondstadt and its people. And they kept that promise. Even during the era of the corrupt aristocracy, when Mondstadt had lost its way, the Gunnhildr clan remained loyal to the people. Today, that same bloodline continues through Jean Gunnhildr and her mother, Frederica Gunnhildr. Frederica, also known as the Alder Knight, is one of Mondstadt's most respected captains. She even served as the second in command of Grandmaster Varka's expedition. But her story doesn't end there. She fell in love with Seamus Pegg, a famous adventurer who later became the Cardinal of the Church of Favonius. They married, and together they had 2 daughters, Jean and Barbara. But over time, something changed. A rift formed between them. They separated. Jean stayed with her mother, while Barbara was raised by her father. To this day, the reason has never been officially revealed, but it likely wasn't because they stopped loving each other. Frederica raised Jean under the strict traditions of the Gunnhildr clan. Her training was harsh. Discipline came before comfort. Jean was shaped into a future leader. Seamus, on the other hand, may not have wanted Barbara, his younger, more gentle daughter, to endure the same burden. So he raised her within the church instead, where she became the deaconess we know today. Not because he loved Jean less, but because he wanted Barbara to have a different life. And despite their separation, their story didn't end. When Varka began his expedition, he invited both Frederica and Seamus, without telling the other. And for the first time in years, they were together again. Now Frederica has been dispatched to Dornman Port, and Seamus is also returning to Mondstadt after the events of Nod-Krai, which means we may finally meet them soon. But they aren't the only important figures connected to Mondstadt's future. Let's talk about Boreas. Long ago, Lupus Boreas was just an ordinary wolf from Snezhnaya. But everything changed when he traveled to Nod-Krai and met Koitar, the first angel. Koitar had been cursed by the heavenly principles, stripped of her memories. But after living alongside her, Boreas was blessed by her power. He gained intelligence, awareness, and eventually godhood. She named him Boreas, the North Wind. He called her Mother. Later, Boreas traveled to Mondstadt to help humanity. But when he challenged Khaenri'ah, he realized something important. He wasn't fit to be an Archon. He believed an Archon needed love for humanity, not just strength. His blizzards could destroy, but they could not nurture life. So he chose to pass on his physical form, and now only his spirit remains. But his legacy didn't end there. 1,000 years ago, during Vanessa's rebellion, a mysterious outsider arrived in Mondstadt with a wolf companion. His fighting style was savage, almost inhuman. He became known as the Knight of Boreas. But wolves have short lifespans. When his companion died, the knight buried it and placed his sword as its gravestone. Even now, it's said the wolf's spirit still watches over Mondstadt. But the connection between this knight and Andrias remains a mystery. Around 500 years ago, there lived a knight named Roland. Roland was a noble-born knight of Favonius, and he was mentored by Rostam, the legendary wolf pup. Under Rostam's guidance, Roland learned everything a true knight should stand for: chivalry, justice, and honor. He believed deeply in protecting the innocent and punishing evil wherever he saw it. Because of his shining armor and noble ideals, he became known as the White Knight. He never ignored injustice. Whenever he saw someone in danger, he would immediately step in without hesitation. On one such occasion, he saved a maiden from danger. She fell deeply in love with him, seeing him as the perfect embodiment of justice. She tried to reward him in many ways: wealth, gifts, recognition, but Roland refused all of it. To him, chivalry itself was the reward. In the end, he accepted only a single white flower from her, a symbol of purity, a symbol of the knight he was. But everything changed during the Cataclysm. When Khaenri'ah fell and monsters spread across the world, Roland and his squadron traveled to Nod-Krai to fight them. Some wolves followed him there, and it is believed that the wolves currently living in Nod-Krai are descendants of those very wolves. At first, Roland fought to protect humanity, but slowly, something began to change inside him. As he cut down monster after monster, he began to lose himself in the act of killing. He convinced himself that what he was feeling was satisfaction from justice being served, that he was doing the right thing, that he was purging evil from the world. And so he continued. He fought endlessly, without rest, without hesitation. But as time passed, his once shining white armor became stained black with blood. His sword, once a symbol of justice, became a tool of endless slaughter. Even the white flower given by the maiden turned black. Its petals hardened, becoming as hard as steel. The symbol of his purity was gone. The people he saved began to fear him, because when they looked at him, they no longer saw a knight, they saw a monster. At some point during his journey, Roland encountered the Viridescent Venerer. She was once known as the Queen of Hunters from Sumeru. During the Cataclysm, she found a blind boy who had been fatally wounded by monsters. The boy was dying, helpless and alone. Seeing his suffering, she swore revenge. She began hunting the monsters of the Cataclysm relentlessly. She slaughtered countless abyssal beasts, driven by her desire to avenge that blind boy. But revenge consumed her. The endless killing began to change her. Just like Roland, she too became tainted by slaughter. When Roland met her, he didn't see a protector. He didn't see someone trying to avenge the innocent. He saw a monster, someone no different from the creatures he had sworn to destroy. So he killed her, without knowing the truth. That blind boy she was trying to avenge was his younger brother. Roland never knew. He killed the one person who was trying to avenge his own family. After that, Roland continued his journey, but eventually he came to Khaenri'ah, and there he learned the truth. The monsters he had been slaughtering were not monsters. They were humans. Humans who had been cursed. Humans who had lost everything. Humans who were suffering. And in that moment, Roland realized something. Everything he had done was wrong. Everything he believed in was a lie. This was the ultimate injustice. He could no longer see himself as a knight. He could no longer see himself as human. And so he abandoned humanity. Roland pledged himself to the abyss. It is now believed that he has become the master of the Wild Hunt, and he may soon return to Mondstadt, not as the White Knight, but as something else entirely. But Roland isn't the only new figure. There's also Lohen, vice captain of the 5th Company. Varka himself said Lohen might be tougher than him. Mika described him as a fearless leader who inspires others with his reckless bravery. But fans have noticed something strange. His appearance closely resembles Dottore. The clothing, the gloves, the choker, the earring, even the hair and eye color. Some believe Lohen may be a surviving segment of Dottore, one that escaped deletion. If that's true, he could become one of Mondstadt's most dangerous secrets. And finally, Dornman Port. A quiet port town in northern Mondstadt, known for cargo shipping and flower cultivation. But there's something darker beneath the surface. There was once a sanatorium in the hills. People say anyone who entered it never returned. Recently, Varka ordered several knights, including Frederica Gunnhildr, to return and defend Dornman Port. Which means one thing. Something is coming. Something big enough to bring Mondstadt's strongest warriors back home. And when we finally return to Mondstadt, we won't just be revisiting a familiar place. We'll be uncovering secrets buried for thousands of years. Secrets about Arcadia, about Boreas, about Roland, about Jean and Barbara's family, and maybe about the heavenly principles themselves. So the question is, are we really returning home? Or are we walking straight into the beginning of Mondstadt's greatest crisis? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want more deep Genshin lore explained simply, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because Mondstadt's story is far from over, and we're going to uncover every secret it's hiding.